Hello. Hope you all are doing very well.
So, I have been super busy lately and haven't had the chance to record anything for my channel. But since it's been a while, and here I am back with this detailed tutorial on how to paint a realistic grass. So, let's begin with the video. And I will try to do my best to keep the time lapses to a minimum so we all can follow along easily. So, let's get started. As you all can see that I have painted the background with black, which is where we'll be adding our grass. But before we dive into the details, make sure you subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And also if you want to see the entire painting process of this piece, you can head over to my channel after this video where I have posted the full process of this painting. So now let's jump into the details and try to bring this grass to life on my canvas. So I have begun the process by using a flat brush to add the vertical strokes with the dark green shade. What this would do, this would help to create some depth and sets up the background before we add the highlights to bring out the real effect of the grass. So as you can see, I'm just adding the random vertical strokes here, adding a very little bit of highlight with the lighter shade of the green. I'm dabbing my sponge to soak up any excess paint since it turned out a bit too watery. Okay, I'll keep adding the vertical strokes with the lighter shade of the green. It should not be too bright, just a little bit brighter than the dark green we have used in the background. So we are gonna keep doing that repeatedly to build up the texture. Then I'm adding a touch of black in the middle to add the depth and create a pattern that makes it look like that the grass is growing naturally around the place. It's all about visualizing the scene in your mind and try your best to bring those details to life. Now let's take it up a notch with an even brighter shade of green. You must be noticing that I'm here working in layers, which is basically helping and adding more details to my piece. There's another technique we can try here. This time I'm using a hard bristle brush and I'm starting with the same technique, that is I'm using the same darker shade. Here I'm gonna go with the brighter and brighter shade. I'm just randomly dabbing around my canvas, creating a texture that looks like grass from a distance. Just keep on dabbing, creating spaces. If you are a beginner, you can start with some easy reference pictures to recreate the details. I am here not using any kind of reference, I'm just painting directly from the vivid images in my mind. So you can go for the any realistic grass picture reference and just try to recreate as best as you can. We have now finished painting the distant grass. Now let's zoom in and create the scene with the final details.
and here I'm using a fine small brush. My brush size is 0 and I'm just painting the vague long vertical strokes with my darkest shade of green. Don't need to overthink this too much. Follow the direction in which the grass grows and just keep it random. Mix small and bigger stroke to create natural look. You can see I have started painting some dandelions as well to give it a look of a valley which is nestled between the mountains. So later on I'll paint some wildflowers as well to complete the scene of this painting. One more important thing that you need to understand is that y'all need to be very patient with this kind of work. It took me about 6 to 7 hours to complete the entire look of the grass with the flowers and other details. So remember to take your time and not to rush the process. The more time you will give to the details, the more realistic your painting will look in the end. Here I am painting with a few shades lighter to give the highlight effect of the grass, and you can also see some spaces between the strands. Don't worry, I have to make a few other details among the grass like the lavenders I'm planning to paint and other scattered dandelions, and let's see how this all will turn out. So don't need to overcrowd the details, just create some spaces and depths. And here I am just speeding up some process. I'm just using the same hard bristle brush over the canvas, just dabbing few strokes. Then I'm using here the flat brush.
I'm going through the same technique as I have mentioned earlier, going with the darker shade, highlighting with the lighter shade. So you can notice that the grass strands which are at the front are longer, and gradually the size is getting smaller and shorter. So let's give it a closer look of the details here. One more tip I can give you here is that you have to keep your hand very light on the canvas. You have to use less pressure as much as you can, okay? The more lighter your hand will be, the more perfect and straight your details will come out. So if you want a little bit thick strand, apply the pressure according to it. So I need a very fine strand, so I'm keeping my hand very light. As you can see here how thin and fine the strokes are.
So here's the final look of our painted grass. You can see how lush and vibrant it bears, almost lifelike. I hope this tutorial was helpful to you, and do try this and feel free to share your work with me on my Instagram. I have mentioned the links below in my description. So this is the final look of my painting. It's a calligraphy painting with a galaxy, mountains, and a beautiful valley look I have created. It's like one of my favorite pieces so far, and I have put a lot of effort in this piece. Kindly let me know in the comments if you have enjoyed this video, and also if you would like to see more voiceover tutorials. It's been a while since I did one of these, so Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel for more cool art projects. Thank you.